Sometimes one single moment can affect the trajectory of an entire lifetime. A powerful example of this was shared by noted historian Berel Wein with the President of Israel, Yitzhak Herzog, whose grandfather and namesake Mr. Wein had met once as a child. I was a young boy in 1946 when my father woke me up early one morning and he says, "We're going to the airport. The chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Herzog, is visiting Chicago." The whole city waited for this most important and famous rabbi. Among the stops he made in Chicago, Rabbi Herzog also came to speak at our school, and this is what he said. "I have just returned from the Pope in Rome. I submitted to him a list of thousands of Jewish children who were put into Catholic monasteries during the war by their parents in order to save them from the Nazis. I told the Pope, I give you this list as a representative of the Jewish people, and I ask, I beg, I demand that you give us back those children." The Pope didn't agree. He explained that anyone who enters a Catholic institution and is baptized into Christianity must remain a Christian forever. Rabbi Herzog finished quoting the Pope. He paused for a moment, and then he burst into tears. I have never seen anyone sobbing like that before or after. He bowed his head on the podium, and all of the last 2,000 years of Jewish history poured out of him. All of the young Americans stood in awe, amazed. Then the rabbi looked at each one of us in the eye and said, movingly, "I cannot do anything more for these children. But you, what do you intend to do for the Jewish people? What are you going to do to restore our nation?" As we all approached him to shake his hand, he repeated the message to each one of us personally. He looked at me, still a child, and he said to me, "Did you hear what I said? Don't forget what I said." That moment changed my life, says Mr. Wein, and it changed the lives of so many who were there at the time. Many of those children who were present on that occasion went on to become Jewish leaders, to establish large Jewish educational institutions and organizations, and many went on to help build the modern Israel of today. Over the years, the young Americans who were there in the hall have themselves raised a generation of young Jews who are playing a critical role in the continuity and the vibrancy of the Jewish people. All thanks to one speech, all thanks to one cry. Friends, when confronted with the problems of the world, who hasn't asked themselves, what difference can I really make? I cannot possibly solve or meaningfully impact the vast and the complex and sometimes overwhelming challenges facing us as a people and facing the world at large. I barely have enough oil to last for one night, we say, let alone 8. I don't have what it takes to get the job done, so why even bother trying? The story of Hanukkah teaches us otherwise. We must never discount the smallness of our deeds. Great movements for change start with small acts by people who had minimal capacity. Think about it. Pharaoh's daughter had only her arm to reach out for Moses. Moses had a staff. David had a sling. Samson had a jawbone. Rachav had a string. The Maccabees had one small cruse of oil, and Rabbi Herzog had one small cry. You may not be able to do everything, says God, but you can always do something. Put your best foot forward, and let me, says Hashem, take care of the rest. Give your all, whispered Hashem to the Maccabees past, as he does to the Maccabees present, even if all you have is enough oil for one night, and I will turn your little flame into a blazing symbol and holiday of hope and light that reverberates throughout all of time. Chanukah Sameach.